Hello guys, I'm excited to do this video on how to install Anaconda 3 ID on your local machine. It appears that some of us are having challenges on how to go through the installation process. So uh, I count this as a privilege to share the steps on how to accomplish the installation of Anaconda 3 on your local machine, and so that you'll be able to have a hands-on on the ID, and as well be able to code on the ID. Okay, I'm also going to take you through the step on how to also write your code on the command prompt, as well as the lecturer showed us the other day. So first and foremost, we have to go back to the mail that he sent to us, detailing where to find the Anaconda software. So this window you're looking at presently, it's the mail he sent to all of us. Okay, so if you come down a little bit here on this pane, the right pane, you see download and install Anaconda installers, so Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Okay, immediately after that, beneath it you have https column www.anaconda.com/products/individual hash Windows. Okay, so this is the link where you are going to be able to get the Anaconda software. So you just click on it, and in doing that you ensure that your system is hooked up to a good internet service provider, that's ISP. Okay, so that you don't have issues. So this is the website here. This is the URL, universal resource locator here, where we have anaconda.com/product/individual. So I'll crave your indulgence that you scroll down to this point where you have this black button here written on it, download. So if I move my mouse pointer, you discover that the color changes to a light blue, from black to pale blue anyway. Okay, so you select it once and it takes you down to the end of the Anaconda page. Okay, so here we have three columns. We have the column for Windows, we have the column for Mac OS, we have the column for Linux. Okay, so under Windows we have two versions there. We have the 64-bit graphical installer, we have the 32-bit graphical installer. Under Mac OS same, under Linux same. So you at this point you have to be able to know the system type that your machine is running on. And how to do that, you simply go to your desktop environment, you click on, you locate the icon this PC or my computer, or PC as the case may be, depending on the operating system you're using. If you're using Windows, okay, so if you're using Windows, you locate this PC, you right click on the icon this PC or my computer icon, or PC, you go, there will be a pop-up window. You go to the last option, there are properties, you select it. This is to enable you to know the system type that your machine is running on. So we have this window here, this Windows version, we have Windows 10 Pro, blah blah blah. We come to system segment, we have processor Intel R core i5, okay. Installed memory is 8 gig. Now this is the area of concentration, is system type. Under as against system type, we have 64-bit operating system, x64 based processor. Okay, so this tells me that my machine is running on Windows 10 Pro 64-bit operating system. Okay, now if it were a 32-bit operating system of Windows, then you see system type, what you have here, as against 64, what you have will be 32-bit operating system, x86 based processor. That is what you're going to have. But since my operating system is the 64-bit version of Windows 10 operating system, so you have here 64-bit. So having that knowledge, we go back to the Anaconda website. So like I said, since I'm running Windows, my operating system or system type is Windows, so I have to stick to this Windows column here. So I have the choice of taking either the 64-bit or the 32-bit graphical installer. Now the 32-bit graphical installer will work on my 64-bit system type operating system. There will be no problem. I have tried it and it's working fine. Okay, the 64-bit graphical installer could also run on my 64-bit operating system. So for the benefit of the tutorial, I'm going to download the 32-bit. Okay, I've already done a video on the 32 bit graphical installer. Okay, so I'm going to download the 64-bit graphical installer for Python 3.8. So if I click on this link here, this circle, why you're seeing this circle is because my mouse pointer is on this 64-bit graphical installer, 446 MB. So I'm going to click it. Now if you look at the bottom left corner of my screen here, you see Anaconda. The file is being downloaded and it is downloaded to a particular location. Since I've already downloaded this, I'm going to cancel it. I don't need to go through that process again because I've downloaded it before the commencement of this tutorial video. So I know the location where the file is downloaded to. Usually all my download items from the web are located in a folder called downloads. So if I click on this PC icon again, you see this PC icon here is highlighted. So I'll click on it, double click on it, then I go to, on the left pane here, I'll come and point to downloads. So if I click on downloads, the content of this downloads folder will be shown in this display or content pane here. Okay, so I click on downloads. Okay, so this is the content of that folder called download. So if we look here closely, we'll discover that I have Anaconda 3 2020.07 Windows x86. Okay, so this is the 32-bit version of the Anaconda, while this one you're seeing here is the 64-bit version. So you see here you have Anaconda 3-2020.07-Windows-x86-64.exe. So this is the 64-bit version of the executable file of Anaconda 3. Okay, exe simply stands for executable. Okay, so and the size of this file here is if you look there, we have the size to be 467 megabytes. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this to run or to start the setup process or the installation process. So it's going to initialize, it's going to verify the installer up to 100%, and it will continue. All right, so it's that process has finished. So we now have the 64-bit setup wizard here, or say welcome to Anaconda 3 2020.07 64-bit setup. Okay, so this window here, this wizard will take us through the process of installing the Anaconda 3 64-bit version. So it is recommended that you close all other applications before starting setup. This will make it possible to update relevant system files without having to reboot your computer. So the next one here, say click next to continue. So I'll just come down here and click next. You see the next is changing color, my mouse pointer is on it. I'll click on it. So this window is a license agreement. Okay, so it behoves you to read this agreement so that you know what you are agreeing to. Okay, it's not just good when you're installing an application, you click next, and you agree. You don't know what you're agreeing, whether you're agreeing to the software stealing information, your personal data, and selling it to other companies for onward profit making, as the case may be. So it's usually advised that you go through this license agreement. Okay, so I'm going to agree. Okay, the next window here says install for just me, and the next option there is all users, requires admin privileges. Now let me explain this briefly. Just me simply, which is recommended, simply means that this account that I'm running this or is going to install this Anaconda 3, the Anaconda 3 will only be available for this account. If this computer has more than one account, maybe you created an account for your siblings so that they can also use the laptop or the desktop machine to do one or two things, and you created an account separately for them. If you choose this first option, just me, it then means all other accounts will not have access to this Anaconda 3 ID. Okay, but if you want other accounts on the system to see or to have access to be able to launch Anaconda 3, then you take the second option. Now before you do that, you should know that if that account you want to install this Anaconda 3 is not an administrator's account, then the operating system will not allow the application to be installed. Or if the account does not have administrator's privileges, okay, the operating system will not allow the software to be installed. Okay, but since this system is just has just one user, so I'll stick to their recommendation that just me. Then I'll go down here and I'll select next. See the next button is changing color, so I'll select next. Okay, so this is another critical part again. This is the directory this place that is highlighted is the directory where the Anaconda tree files, libraries will be stored. Okay, that's where the installation will take place. Okay, so it's usually good you don't mess up with this place. I'll prefer leaving it and having this directory at the back of my palm. Okay, knowing this directory at the back of my palm, or to committing it to memory. Okay, however, you can change the location. You can change this. What this simply means that this Anaconda tree will be stored in the C folder, a C folder that contains another folder called users, and that users folder contains another folder by the name Nadunkpomwe, and that Nadunkpomwe will now contain a folder that is called Anaconda 3, and in that folder called Anaconda 3, all the Anaconda library files and other files will be stored in the folder called Anaconda 3. That's what this part is all about. Okay, so I wouldn't I would suggest you leave it this way. Now another thing is that for this software to be able to be installed on this system, the software requires that the space on your hard disk, the minimum space that should be available, should not be less than 2.7 gigabytes. Okay, however, if you look at my own system here, what's saying is that the space that is available on my hard disk is over 22 gig plus, so I have more than enough space, so I'm good to go. I can just go ahead and click on next, this next button here. There is a prompt warning: destination folder contains one space. This can cause problems with several Conda packages. Please consider removing the space. Just click OK and you're good to go. All right, now I would suggest also that you uncheck this box, or I would suggest that you uncheck this box and leave both of them the way, leave both of them unchecked. Okay, and continue. Why? Because if eventually you install Visual Studio will come with its own version of Python. Okay, so there might be conflict, because what this simply means is that is the Anaconda 3 that the Visual Studio must use. Okay, and you may not be comfortable because Microsoft has its own version of Python as well. So I'll suggest that you uncheck this box. But if you're okay, you want to stick to Anaconda Python, no problem. You can leave it checked anyway. You're good to go. You don't have any issues. So leave this first option, add Anaconda 3 to my path environment variable. If you look here, it is said not recommended. Okay, so leave it unchecked. Likewise, leave this other one, register Anaconda 3 as my default Python 3.8. so leave it also unchecked and just click what, install. So the file is being extracted. Okay, so this is the extraction processes going on. I'm going to show you what is happening behind the scene here. So I'll go to my disk PC. I'll go to local drive C, then I'll go to users. That is the directory that I'm going to look for Anaconda 3. Okay, so that's it. So you remember this part. Okay, so this is the directory. So we have 5 items here. Now these 5 items will increase at the end of the installation process. So if we look at this, we have 1 item. We look at the library, we have 2 items. We look at the packages, we have several items. So these items will grow. We have 625 items. So as the process is going on, so also the file number will what? Increase. So permit me to pause and come back at when the installation process will be through. So far so good. You discover that I've not had any issues anyway. So okay, we're back. We could see that the extraction processes have gone through, creating an Anaconda 3 menus. I didn't have any issue, so it all went well, and this is showing completed. So I'm going to click on this next button here. Okay, so welcome with Python, blah blah blah. So that's it. All I need to do is to click next, and that's also completing Anaconda 2020.07 64-bit setup. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck both boxes here. This has to do with Anaconda individual edition tutorial. So if you need that, you can check it and click on finish. If you want to learn more about Anaconda, you can also check this, and the content of these links would be made available. Okay, and you can follow through on that anyway. So I don't need them, so I'll just uncheck those boxes and I click on finish here, and that is that. So I've finished with the installation process of the Anaconda 3. So I'll go to my start menu. I'll go to my I'll look for a folder called Anaconda. Okay, so that's the folder there, Anaconda 3 64 bits. So if I select this will take me to the Anaconda navigator, where I have other options. Okay, I can go straight to Spider IDE, integrated development environment, the Spider, the one the lecturer was talking about. I can go straight here, or I can come through this way. Okay, for practical purposes, let's just hit on the Anaconda navigator so that we know what it looks like, and it's not theorized as it were. Okay, so it's trying to open. Okay, so you give it some time, it's going to initialize and finally display the Anaconda navigator page. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so the Anaconda navigator, I'll just click on okay. So if we look at this, if I move it to the middle of the screen, so we have Jeopardy Lab, cmd.exe command prompt. We have you can launch it. We have the PowerShell prompt, you can launch it as well. We have the notebook, you can launch it, where you write your codes. Okay, the Spider I was talking about, this is it. You can launch it as well from here. Okay, so it's either you use this place, or you go to your start menu, you locate your Anaconda folder. Okay, this 64 bits, you can see it's specified there. So it's either you use this Spider here from the menu item, or you use it from the Anaconda navigator. So I'll just click on launch here. It's going to open the ID, the integrated development environment. So it's going to take a little while. Pause. Okay, so it has finally launched. So this is Spider Python 3.8. Okay, Spider, there is a new version available. Okay, please upgrade. Please use your package manager to upload this. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so this is the IDE here. I've already written a program and test run it, so but I'm going to do that all over again. So this is the IDE. Okay, so we can start coding. Say y is assigned the value 3, x is assigned the value 4. We can say z is assigned the result of y plus x. Then we can print the result of y. Okay, so we can say z. Okay, then we click on the run button here, or you press F5, still the same thing. Okay, so this is the result here. You see this place, the right hand of this screen. This is the result. This place that is shining blue. So we have 7. 4 plus 3 will give us 7. If we add something and say say j is assigned the value of, let's look at the multiplication operation on both operands. Okay, and we say we print z, we print j. Let's see what we are going to have. We press F5. Okay, so we can see the first result there is 7, the multiplication result there is 12. Okay, so if we want to add text to this, okay, we can as well do that. We can say, I'm going to use my on-screen keyboard because my keyboard is having issues. Can do this. Okay, let's say this add a comma there. Let's see this and we add a comma there. Okay, so first one we'll say, let me minimize this, say addition result. Okay, then we come here and say product result. Okay, then let's run it and see if we generate any error. Okay, so we are good to go. So we have it, addition result 7, product result 12. So that is for the IDE. This is the result here on the right hand of the IDE, the Spider IDE here, where you have usage. If you come down, this is the result pane here. The console 1A is the result pane. Okay, so this is one way you can accomplish this. However, you can as well run this program, can as well run it from the command prompt, and we have two options there. Let's look at those two options. We have the PowerShell and we have the Anaconda prompt. So let's start with the Anaconda PowerShell prompt. which is the DOS, which is the command prompt uh, version, or command prompt environment, I should say. All right, so we are there. Okay, so now if you watch here, you in the command prompt, you need to know the location where you need to know the directory, okay, of the Anaconda folder. And already if we remember, we had that in um, this PC local drive C user folder. In user folder, you have another folder called Nadunkpomwe. In that Nadunkpomwe's folder, you have the folder called Anaconda tree. Okay, so this is the directory. See, is similar to this black screen here that we have behind. So we see C forward backward slash users backward slash Nadunkpomwe backward slash Anaconda. So okay, so now we are at this level, this Nadunkpomwe. We need to change directory so that we can have access to the folder called Anaconda tree. And how do we do that? We click here and we use the command cd. Cd simply means change directory. And what is the name of the folder there? It has to be exact. Anaconda tree, all lower cases. Okay, so you type ANACONDA, then the figure tree, and you press enter. Okay, so we are now in this location. Okay, so this is the graphical user interface that we are seeing here, while this black screen is the command prompts. They are in the same, they are of the same locations anyway, but this one is represented graphically. Okay, so what we need to do now is to type a particular word, and that word we need to type is called Python. You see this Python, this word here, python.exe. Okay, in the graphical user interface you have to double click on it, but on the command prompt all you need to do is to type Python. Okay, and you press enter. Okay, so this is the interpreter, this is the Python interpreter, and I can still do the same program, or write the same program that I did initially on the ID. X is assigned 3, enter. Y is assigned the value 4, enter. Z is assigned the addition of Y plus X. Okay, then I'll say J is assigned the product of Y multiply by X. Okay, X. Okay, then I have to output the result. Okay, in the graphical user interface, discover that immediately you type print, it automatically inserted your open and close parentheses, but here you have to manually impute that. Okay, so that's the one of the differences between the IDE and the command prompt. Okay, so my keyboard is having issues, so I have to use the on-screen soft keyboard to be able to do this. Okay, so remember what I did. Okay, say comma, then okay, then comma. All right, so we are good to go. So we have we'll say addition addition result, then your comma, you have y, you have z, comma, and product result, you have j. So all you need to do is press enter. Okay, so this is the result. Addition result is 7, product result is what? 12. So this is one aspect. This is the result of a simple program on Python that adds 2 integers and multiplies 2 integers and display their summation and product result, as the case may be. So we are going to exit this window. So I'll type exit here. So let's go to the second option, the second command prompt window that we have there. Okay, we took the PowerShell initially. Now we are taking the Anaconda prompt. So let's see, it's still the same movement. Okay, so we remember this the directory as it is here, C users Nadunkpome Anaconda. So we need to change directory to Anaconda as well, because that's where the executable file Python is residing. So cd change directory Anaconda. Okay, it must correspond with what is on the system. So we have changed directory to Anaconda. If we want to check if the file Python is there, we can type another command, dir. Dir means directory. Okay, so if we scroll down, we scroll, take our time to scroll, you're going to see the file called here Python. Okay, so Python, but we are not going to add .exe because this is the DOS environment. We're only going to type the word Python. That is the interpreter. We press enter. Okay, so we are now running the interpreter of Python. So we can still do the same program again. Say x is assigned the value, say 15 this time. Y is assigned the value, say 2. Okay, we can display the product, the result of this. Can decide to add them as the case may be, or multiply them or divide them as the case may be. So I'll still use my on-screen keyboard because my hard keyboard is having issues. So I'll say y plus x, and it's 17. 2 plus 15 will give us 17. We could still say y multiply by x, and the result is what? 30. And if we want to still add text to make it to make the program a little bit interactive, okay, I'll call up my on-screen keyboard again. Okay, and I'll do this. I'll say this, apply my comma here. Okay, close this, take my cursor back, and I say the summation of x and y equals, okay, I'll give a space, okay, and I press my enter. XY, okay. All right, so summation of x and y equals what? 30. Okay, we can as well add or do anything. So it's either we are using the IDE or we are using the command prompt. And if we are using the command prompt, we need to change to the directory, the Anaconda folder directory, which is Anaconda 3. Now, the environment variable, if you can know the path, okay, you may not bother yourself with the environment variable. Or alternatively, if you still want to start with your normal command prompts, that's run cmd, okay, you still need to change directory, okay, to this time around you're going to change directory to Anaconda 3. Let's see what, okay, you still need to change, you on this aspect you need to put the full directory, okay, which is users. This is somewhat longer, and if you fail in any of the names of the folder, you may not be able to get it, okay. So I have to be as precise as possible here, okay. Okay, so I'm there. So you discover I had to type it the way it is, change directory to this, okay. Then I'll type Python. Okay, so I'm in the Python environment, the interpreter. Okay, I'll say x assigned 7, y is assigned 3. Say print. Okay, I'll call up my on-screen keyboard again. Print x multiply y multiply x. Okay, press enter. So 3 times 7 will give us 27. So guys, I hope this tutorial has been able to give an insight on how you install the Anaconda 3, the 64-bit version, and also how you get to the various environments and you apply your coding as well. Thank you very much. You can watch this video on YouTube as well, okay. Thank you.